Good evening, everybody. It's me, Wendy, and I want to make sure that you can hear me. So, will somebody please give me a thumbs up? Let me know that you can hear me because I'm trying something different with my sound, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, I'm going to do this, and I need to have somebody let me know if you can hear me. Yes? Hear me? Yes? Anyway, welcome to Weeds and Wisdom tonight, September 12th, 2024. We're still here, one more week, and the world is getting stranger by the day. But I'm happy to be here with you and enjoying some light rain this evening, which is much needed up here in northern Arkansas. And I hope you guys have had a good week. I have something really important to talk to you about tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. I will do a couple of housekeeping things first. For those of you that are new to our channel, if you want to watch any previous lives, or if you want to rewatch this one after it's off Facebook, because they don't stay on Facebook forever. I think they only stay on for like 30 days. They are uploaded to Crooked House Herbal's YouTube channel, and you can go there and view any of our previous lives or some of the other teachings and things that I've done through the years. That's one thing. The other thing is there are 2 books out that I've done, Weeds and Wisdom, Introduction to Living with Herbs, and Weeds and Wisdom, Create Your Own First Aid Kit. Both of these would probably be very good resources to have in your library in the up and coming weeks, months, and even years. They're very easy to read. I actually created them for some classes I was teaching to homeschoolers, but the information is really, really good and probably something that you will want to have easily accessible, can pull off the shelf and take a look at and go, maybe this is what I need to do. So those books, you can find them on Amazon. And I think they're like $14 or something. They're not expensive, but, they're not overwhelming encyclopedias either, which, if you're a major bookworm and you just like perusing books, then those are okay. But if you're just really wanting to grab something, get some information, find out what to do about something, and it's a quick reference, and it's easy to read, and there's actually pictures and stuff in here as well. I would recommend these kinds of books. That's the kind of person I am. I mean, I have shelves, don't get me wrong, of texts. I have herbal medicine PDRs. I have all kinds of stuff, but I also have a master's degree in herbology, and a lot of that stuff was required reading for what anatomy and physiology and all of that. But for homegrown herbalists, and people who just want to take care of their family and themselves, these kinds of texts are a quick reference, and they're much easier to handle and use than the big bomber stuff. Okay, can somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I need to know that, so I know that my sound changes are working properly. Because I pushed a different button this time around when I started, and I just want to make sure I didn't mess anything up. Everybody can hear me okay? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So tonight is entitled Fatty Liver and Parsley. All right. These are 2 subjects that I think we need to talk about. the liver thing, it goes deep. And I think that people need to understand how important, what a major organ that is to the rest of your body's functions. We always say, you've only got one liver, Well, actually, the liver is one of the few organs that you have that can regenerate and repair itself. So unless you are just too far gone, you have just ruined your liver, usually with abusive lifestyle. There's hope. There's a way to bring your liver back into a good, healthy status, and your whole body will benefit from that. We know that, but sometimes I think we need to be told why that's important and how we know that. I'm a big why person. I always have been. As a kid, I always wanted to know why, and I drove people nuts. But when I became a teacher, that was one of the things I required of my students, is I required them to ask me why. Every day, every class period, you need to ask me why. Because, first of all, it told me whether or not they were even listening to me. Second of all, I knew the kids that were actually thinking on their own and trying to connect dots and putting things together for themselves, and those that were just, doing the baby bird syndrome, sitting there waiting with their mouth open for somebody to chew up something and spit it in there. So hopefully we have no baby birds in this audience, but I think it's important to understand, hi Tina, why our liver, just how many things our liver affects. We know the obvious things, and we've heard about cirrhosis of the liver, and we've heard about, that's like the hardening of the liver. That's when it's really hard to repair, when you get to that point where your liver is actually starting to stiffen up and not be flexible and do what it's supposed to do. But there are lots of stages that happen before that stage, and a lot of it affects other things that are going on in our body. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and how to bring our livers back into a good, healthy situation. I think that it can do nothing but benefit all of us to learn about this and to understand not only that, but what things we can do, what foods we can eat, what herbs we can use to assist our liver in returning to a healthy state. So, okay, our liver is vital to our health, to our appearance, to our mental well-being. Some of you who have taken classes from me before, you might remember me saying this, but I remember saying it, that if you are prone to depression, and if you get depressed easily, more than likely, that's the first sign that your liver is not functioning right. It's unhappy. And people go, what? Direct correlation between your liver function and being depressed. So keep that in mind, when you think, and I'm not talking about people who are like, just naturally have melancholy personalities or that kind of thing, but I'm talking about a person like me. Okay, I am a glass half full person. I'm a lemonade out of lemons person. I'm always seeing the bright side, to ad nauseum, to making people mad at me, including my husband, because I go, well, maybe it's just because, whatever, that maybe it's because this and this is going to happen, or, I'm just always, that's me. But if for some reason you call up Wendy one day and I'm in a funk, I am depressed, the first thing that would come to my mind is something's up with my liver. because this isn't like me. So you have to take that into, consideration when you are using that measuring stick. But it is a real thing. And there's some good research and reports that have been written that, connect liver function and depression. It makes sense. Our whole body is connected. Our body does not act independently of itself. Our arms are told what to do by our brain, right? If we didn't have, we don't, otherwise we would just be willy-nilly. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. And there were no accidents, there were no oopsies. Okay? So, our liver has, it's like a second brain in that sense, It calls a lot of shots. It takes a lot of heat too, and it takes a lot of crap. Everything goes through the liver. So think about how incredible that organ has to be. It's an amazing filtering organ. So it regulates your metabolism. It flushes out toxins. It produces cholesterol. Yes, it produces cholesterol. Okay, so when you think about that, and you think about it producing cholesterol, and then you think about all of the hype that you hear now about, oh my gosh, you've got to reduce your cholesterol. You got to, well, it's a naturally occurring thing in your body to produce and make cholesterol. The difference is, what kind of cholesterol are you producing? And so, again, those are easy things to monitor and to get a handle on. Really, they are. And we have, to some degree, been educated in that realm. Okay? But that's why you have to keep your liver healthy all the time. You can't let it lax, because it would be like saying, well, I'm just going to give, my heart, a half an hour off, and I'm not going to pay attention to it, and it doesn't have to work real well if it doesn't want to. What would happen in that 30 minutes? Bye. You could totally die without your heart working the way it needs to do. So the liver is equally as important in that sense. You have to keep your liver healthy, and you have to let it do its job. You've heard me say lots of times, don't eat after 6. And people go, whoa, and I was like, just don't eat after 6. If you do, you're putting your liver into overtime. Give your liver from 6 to 6 or 7, that's 12 or 13 hours, to do its job, to work on filtering all that stuff. Okay. Your liver, the bile that works with your liver breaks down. You got your bile production, and it breaks down your food, and it converts it into energy. So if you don't have time to do that, and you're just constantly putting stuff into your liver, and you're not giving it time to finish the process, certain things, which we're going to talk about, will manifest. So I'm hoping that you will be able to connect these dots for yourself and realize, oh yeah, okay, I see that now. And unfortunately, a lot of our society these days is, prone to just running to the doctor and hopping on that pharmaceutical train, and they'll say, oh, well, yeah, just take this for that or this for that. Well, what are you putting into your liver? Do you even look at that when you take medications? Our bodies weren't designed to have to deal with so many chemicals and toxic things that we put into our bodies just because the doctor says you need it. And sometimes the only reason you're doing that is because you don't have enough discipline in your life to seek out the right things to eat, the right way to live, to do what it takes to live naturally enough to keep yourself healthy. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, I know, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else. So don't think I'm riding on some holier than thou train, because I'm not. I mean, I'll still, sit down and go, I wish I had, and I get the same thing. And sometimes I give in and sometimes I say no. But it's just having that awareness and that discipline to tell your body no. We are learning more and more, and if you've been following me for very long, you've been learning it from me, if from nobody else, that our foods, especially processed foods, contain ingredients, chemicals and otherwise, that addict you. All right? You become addicted to those chemicals. You become addicted to the sugar. You become addicted to the salt. You become addicted to the things that are in those foods. And pretty soon you're craving it. It reminds me of a movie that we saw a long time ago when my kids were little. And it talks about the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy and how he puts something in his chicken that makes you crave it. And my kids used to make me laugh when they would quote that, but that was a long time ago. My kids have kids now. So you need to be aware of the fact that there's kind of a war on for our bodies. All right? You need to fight back. And you need to be aware of what's going on and I'm not saying that they're all out to get you. Okay? I'm just saying you need to be aware of what you're putting into your body. I tell my mother the same thing. Don't buy food if it's frozen that has anything in it that you can't pronounce or don't know what it is. If you want ice cream, it needs to have cream and sugar and vanilla in it. Not a mile-long list of chemicals. If you want frozen vegetables, it needs to have broccoli and maybe salt. That's all. So it kind of narrows the field a little bit, but you know what? You'll be better off for it. Because we get enough toxic other stuff everywhere we go and every place we live. So you have to stop eating foods that you cannot pronounce. That eliminates and wipes out a lot of stuff, Can't go to Sam's and buy those big, giant boxes of breaded fried chicken stuff and come home and eat that for a month. You have to eat clean. Okay. So the bile helps break down the food and it convert it to energy. When the liver is overworked, it can't burn anything. As a result, these are some things that happen. You get headaches. You feel tired all the time. And indigestion is your constant companion. So those are 3 things right there that I would be willing to lay money. Everybody listening to me struggles with a lot. Okay? It'll also cause belly fat to accumulate because it's the liver's job to burn fat. So when it's overworked, it can't do its job. So when you're overworking your liver, one of the easiest ways to back that down is to stop eating after 6. Don't eat late and don't eat a lot. If you're going to have a big meal, have it in the middle of the day, if you can. I like to eat a big lunch. I haven't quite got my husband on the same train with me with that yet, but, I can sit and visit with him while he eats, which I do quite often. But start tapering off when it comes towards evening so that you can give a good 12-hour shift to your liver and not overwork it. Another way that you overwork it is by taking a lot of medications. Because your liver goes, I don't even know what to do with all this crap. What is this? I can't convert it to energy. It's not food. Okay, some signs of an overworked liver can be excessive inflammation in the body. What have we been talking about for weeks and weeks now? Inflammation. You go to this doctor and you go to that doctor and you go here and you go there and they say, well, yeah, you've got a lot of inflammation. But they don't say, how are your eating habits? Most of the time because they don't know. But also because they don't have time to get into that with you. You're going to need to do it for yourself. So, inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of, I'm going to say, 85% of all current and modern day diseases. Is it coming together yet? Okay, another one. Digestive issues. Big time. And you can't just say, well, it's just because I'm getting older. You know, old people have digestive issues. Well, if you think about that for a minute, they might have them because they're getting older, because maybe all these old people are now on 12 zillion medications and they're not eating right. So, just saying, okay? Lack of bile production, which causes brain fog. Anybody experiencing brain fog? And it's funny how we just kind of let these things go. But all of these things are a sign of an overworked liver. Okay, something else that's kind of interesting is those spider angiomas, those little spots that you get on you, and then there's like little spider veins that come out from that, and they don't go away. They used to call them liver spots. Remember that? And then they started calling the dark spots that you get on your skin liver spots. But the spider angiomas are a real thing, and it's a sign of an overworked liver. Something else that's a sign of an overworked liver is red palms. It's usually on the heels of both of your hands, and the redness disappears when pressure is put on it. So if you push on it, it'll kind of go white. And then when you take it off, you'll get these red palms. Boop, 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 boop. Overworked liver. This can be a sign of hormonal dysfunction as a consequence of liver issues. Okay. Then we kind of get into a few more, maybe more severe things. Itchy skin, especially on your belly. You just itch, but there's no rash. You just itch. Okay, that's a result of a buildup of bile salts in your blood because your liver's not working right. Because if your liver's working right, that stuff will get pushed through and pushed out like it's supposed to, because that's how we're created to work. Muscle loss. It can happen. It can be really fast too. It can just be like, a month ago, my triceps were way different than they are now. It's like I'm losing muscle mass. That's a liver thing. Well, not always, but it can be. Like if you are normally, your body, your muscles are normally one way, and then all of a sudden they're not. That could be a sign of some liver issues. Disrupted sleep patterns. Oh my goodness. I'm going to say that's at least 70% of the population has sleep issues, circadian rhythm issues, or, the only real legitimate sleep issue that I could think of would be people that have to work overnight. They work the graveyard shift, they work at night. That messes them up, and there's just no way to fix that. They have to sleep during the day because they have to sleep, and their circadian rhythms are really off. It's really hard to ever get that right. And then eventually, they can't stay awake during the day to save their life because they're used to sleeping then. And, it'd be like us having to stay up all night. So, but disrupted sleeping patterns like waking up every hour or every couple hours, hey, I've been having that. And usually when that happens, I think it might be time for a cleanse this weekend, because there is definitely connections. Okay, some other things. If you have very pale stools or dark urine, those are both signs of liver imbalance. Bilirubin is a yellowish byproduct that's broken down. It's broken down red blood cells, basically, which pass through the liver and get excreted into the bile. Okay? The bile exits through the digestive tract and gives color to the stool. In an unhealthy liver, that process doesn't happen. Your liver can't process the bilirubin properly. It can build up in your blood and go to the kidneys, where it's excreted in your urine. And that's why your urine is darker and your stools are paler, because it hasn't gone through the right channels. Okay? Nausea and vomiting can caused by a lot of things, but it can also be dysfunctional liver. Your liver's just not processing like it's supposed to. Pay attention to when you feel nauseated. Is it after you eat? Is it a couple hours after you eat? Is it when you need to go to the bathroom? Pay attention to when that happens. Unexplained fatigue, malaise, okay? You just generally don't feel good. It's another possible early sign of liver disease. The fatigue can be mild or persistent and just totally lay you out. In addition to feeling constantly tired, people may feel weaker than usual. Like your legs are weak and your arms are weak. Some people have even said, I feel like I have the flu. Well, you could have the flu. Or if it's a consistent thing and it keeps happening, you need to maybe consider your liver. Okay? Another sign of that is a distended abdomen, swelling, which is caused by the buildup of fluid in the abdomen. I remember when I went to help my sister when she was dying of liver failure. Her belly was so big, and it hurt to even touch it. It just was really painful for her. She had all the telltale signs of, the final stages of liver failure. She had yellow eyes. Her skin was yellow. In fact, she was orange. She was that bad. She couldn't eat or talk. She was in a lot of pain. So it's not like bloating, okay? There's a difference. When you feel bloated, that's more like a gas buildup. You got gas or whatever. But this distended stomach is something different. So if you have this distended abdomen and it's uncomfortable, it could even be painful. It could be a buildup of fluids because your liver is not functioning correctly. Now, in case you haven't noticed, I'm giving you all this bad news first, but I am going to give you some good news on how to deal with this and how to fix it, okay? Okay, so there's an accumulation of fluid between the lining of your abdomen and the organs, and that's why it can be pretty painful. Advanced stages of liver disease, of course, would, include the jaundice, yellowing of the eyes, and the orangey skin, and by then you're in pretty bad shape. So, that being said, okay, now to recap, if you are depressed and that's not your thing, you're not normally a depressed person, first red flag, okay? If you're itchy, if you have itchy skin and you don't have a rash, or you are experiencing any of those, if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, or if you've got digestive issues, any of those types of things, consider the thought that it could be some liver dysfunction. And what I like to say, an overworked liver. All right? Because if something is overworked, there's a way to fix it. You stop working it so hard. You back off and let it reach its normal state again. You assist. Okay? So, how do we do that? The first way, and probably the most important way, is with your diet and what you eat. Now, if you are one of these people that's checking these boxes and you're going, yeah, I kind of got that. I kind of got that. I know I have that. I can't, I got this. And you're honestly looking at this and saying, you know what? This could be me. Okay, this is the stage where you put the brakes on and you turn a different direction. Where I go to church, that's called repenting. But you literally turn away from what you're doing and start down a different path. Do it today. All right? If that means going through your house, pitching everything that's laden with chemicals and a lot of sugar and all of those other things, I still prefer to eat something like I said. If I want ice cream, it needs to say cream and sugar and vanilla. Maybe eggs, if it's like a custard. And that's all. It's hard to find, but there is some out there. And you'll probably pay 10 times more for it because it only has 3 ingredients. But this is what I'm talking about. You need to do this for yourself. This is a stage where if you're checking some of these boxes and you have some of these symptoms, you can do something about it today. And you can start down a different path and you can fix it. Okay? So here are some foods that you can include into your diet and I'll give you a little reason why I think these are good ones. Okay? Blueberries and cranberries. They're super fruits. They have a ton of antioxidants. What do antioxidants do? They fight the free radicals in your liver and your kidneys. Okay? Recent studies showed that taking a cranberry supplement for 6 months reduced the amount of fatty substances in the liver. I'm not getting into all of the fatty liver stuff because it's more than we have time for. But if you really are interested, that's a good deep dive to do. Okay? Good little research time. Research what is actually meant by fatty liver and what is going on in your liver when it's a fatty liver. I'm telling you, when you have an overworked liver, those are the signs that you need to be looking at. Because an overworked liver, okay, well, just think about it. generally. If you are overworked, or even if your car is overworked, if you are overworked, what's the next stage? Exhaustion. What's the next stage? Death. It just doesn't work anymore, right? You're done. So, overworked livers are important, but I think it covers more ground than just saying a fatty liver, because some people say, well, I don't have a fatty liver. Well, do you have an overworked liver? Because an overworked liver can actually be worse than a fatty liver. Okay? So, back on cranberries and blueberries. They fight harmful free radicals in the liver. And studies show that cranberries do reduce the amount of fatty substances in your liver. If you're not currently eating blueberries and cranberries on a regular basis, consider adding them to your diet. Okay, so there's one thing. After you've eliminated all the other crap, like I said, if you can't pronounce it and you don't know what that is, you do not need to be eating it. I'm telling myself that too, so don't worry. Okay? And the next one is beetroot juice. Beetroot is a liver boosting superstar. Okay? A lot of people have never even heard of it, but it's becoming more and more popular. It contains a special group of antioxidants called betalains or betalains. The enzymes remove toxins. Okay? I knew there was a reason I always loved beets. My dog even likes beets. Okay. But the juice, you can juice them. You don't have to eat them if you don't want to. Or you can probably buy them powdered or whatever. Just be careful with that. It'll also tend to lower your blood pressure, though, so be aware of it, because that's my thing with it. I can't eat too many beets or drink beet juice because it lowers my blood pressure too much, and then I'm like a zombie. I'm dragging myself around. But small amounts I can, add to my diet. Animal studies have shown that beetroot juice can reduce oxidative damage in the liver and support healthy inflammatory response. Okay, so that was the other thing that we were talking about. That was a big warning sign that you had an overworked liver, was inflammation, a lot of inflammation in your body. I know that everybody listening to me today has probably got inflammatory issues. Okay, and some people, they wear them like a badge. I've got lupus, or I've got this, or I've got that, or I've got that. Those are all stemming from inflammatory issues. Liver, maybe? Okay, another one is salmon and other fatty fish, because they're high in omega-3s. Okay, omega-3 fatty acids, they're healthy. They reduce fatty substances in the liver. Okay, they also promote healthy inflammatory responses. Other fishes like mackerel, sardines, and tuna. The only thing with tuna is, if you get canned tuna, you got to be careful with that mercury level. Actually, any kind of tuna. But a little dab will do ya. You can add that into your regimen. Okay? It's good. Get those omega-3s in there. Okay, another one that you might be surprised to hear me say, especially me because I don't like it, is coffee. Okay? You probably did not expect to see this one on the list, but it does do some good things for your liver. Coffee can help support healthy levels of inflammation. So to a certain degree, coffee is anti-inflammatory. A lot of times the problem with coffee is not the coffee, it's everything you put in it. All the cream and the fake creamers and the sugars and, but coffee in and of itself has anti-inflammatory properties. Coffee can reduce the accumulation of fat and collagen in your liver. So somebody can get excited about that. Not me, because I don't like coffee. But I like green tea, and it does a lot of the same things. I'm probably familiar with collagen when it comes to skin health. Well, collagen in your skin is crucial, but generally, but the opposite is true in your liver. You know, if you have more collagen in your skin, you're kind of plump and you don't have the wrinkles and that kind of thing. But in your liver, too much collagen can cause you some problems. Another one, and I've told you this many times, is olive oil. Cold pressed olive oil. It's a healthy fat. It reduces fatty substances in your liver, and it improves your liver enzymes. So, if you are one of these people that, you kind of are in a rut and you only eat the same 5 things every day or every couple days or whatever, you need to try to figure out a way to get olive oil into your diet or into your body. I can just take a tablespoon of olive oil and it doesn't bother me. It's kind of weird, but it's okay. Sometimes, though, you might want to think about taking some olive oil and just rubbing it on the bottoms of your feet. Put some clean socks on and go to bed and let it absorb through the bottoms of your feet. But olive oil is a really, really good thing for you. If you want to maintain thriving liver, reduce fatty substances, elevate your energy, ignite fat burning, then try these 5 foods, okay? The ones I was just talking about. Eating the right liver food can make a world of difference. Artichokes. Okay, I've talked to you about artichokes. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about artichokes. And it prompted me to create a tincture. I call it Heartichoke because I put some zingy stuff in there that's good for your heart, but it's also good for your liver. So I do have that tincture now. It's called Heartichoke. And it's got hawthorn and cayenne and artichoke. And it's an extract. It's a tincture. But artichokes are probably one of the top 3 best things for your liver. They shield your liver. It increases bile flow. And it's very, very regenerative. There's a compound in artichokes called Silmarin. Okay? And actually there's several, but this one is a key player. And this is a very regenerative thing. Now, when you think about it, and you think about olive oil and artichokes and some of these other things, and you think about that Mediterranean diet that people, and the people, the lifespans of people that eat like that, there's probably some connections there. Now, if they throw the balance off with, 5 bottles of red wine every day, their livers might not be as healthy. But basically, these foods all help to create a healthy liver. Okay, another one is obviously turmeric. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. I would recommend maybe 300 milligrams or so a day. I've told you before, though, when you take turmeric, you need to take it with fat. So mix it in put it in your salad dressing. Make a salad dressing with olive oil and turmeric and maybe a little ginger, because ginger is on my list. It aids in digestion. It's a very good anti-inflammatory. It helps with nausea and vomiting. Make yourself a dressing for your salad that's got these things in it. And then you've got the fat mixed with your turmeric, so that your body, and put some black pepper in there, because the piperine, the stuff that's in black pepper, is another one of the nutrients. It's another one of the constituents that help with nutrient absorption. That's why I always tell you to put your pepper on after you've cooked your food. Eat it raw. But it helps with the absorption of the turmeric or any of the nutrients that you're eating. It helps with that. It also is good for your stomach. It fights cancer. It stabilizes blood sugar levels. Black pepper does. It's good for cognitive function. So put pepper on everything. Another one, like I said, was ginger, and another one would be milk thistle, which everybody's heard about milk thistle in relation to liver health. It's a staple. It's a tried and true old dog, okay? It's a hepatic, galactagogue, a demulcent. It's one of those really, really good herbs. And there's a lot of science behind it now. They're very supportive, the science community, of milk thistle for detoxifying your liver. It lowers high cholesterol, prevents gallstones, controls and prevents diabetes. It's an antioxidant plus. So when you are thinking about doing your next liver cleanse, you should include, for sure, a milk thistle supplement to help with the detoxifying process, because that's what it does. Ginger is also good for that. Okay? Now, how am I doing on time? Oh, pretty good. Okay, I just wanted to read you a little bit about what Dr. Christopher says about liver and gallbladder issues. He says, if the liver is particularly congested, we suggest the liver gallbladder formula, which contains herbs, barberry, wild yam, cramp bark, fennel seed, ginger, catnip, and peppermint. And a lot of those are in my liver detox tincture. I have actually milk thistle and some others in that as well. But the combination will aid in purifying the bloodstream. For if the bile does not flow freely into the intestinal tract, it goes directly into the bloodstream and circulates throughout the system, causing a toxic condition known as cholemia, producing indigestion, sluggishness, fever, fatigue, constipation, upset stomach, chills, vomiting, among some of the symptoms. Okay. So you don't want it going into your bloodstream. You want it going where it's supposed to go, into your intestinal tract. Correct? In addition, castor oil fomentations may be used over the liver. This will open the constipated capillaries within the liver. So a few weeks ago, I talked to you guys. You might want to go back and view these videos. I talked to you about castor oil fomentations, and I told you how to do it. Okay? Because I was telling you about my sister and how I had been doing those like every hour and a half on her. And after about 4 days, the doctor took her out of the woods and told her, she was actually really getting better. So, castor oil works. And let's see, what else does he say about this? Excesses in eating and drinking should be avoided. This is Dr. Christopher. If gallstones are present and the ducts are blocked, bile may be forced back into the liver and enter into the bloodstream. The skin may take on a jaundice color. Ultimately, the bile is excreted through the urinary tract. Your body tries really hard to get rid of this stuff. The urine is often dark red or amber color and is very concentrated. Clay-colored stools are another symptom. During a time of gallbladder inflammation, heavy eating should not be done. Fruit and vegetable juices are recommended along with the liver gallbladder formulas. The bowels should be kept open and unconstipated through the use of herbs. Let's see. Hydrangea root made with 1 quart of apple juice and 1 ounce of hydrangea root soaked together for 3 days in a cool place. Take in 2 ounce doses during your 3-day cleanse. Okay, so that's something else that can be added to your regimen is the hydrangea root in the apple juice. You soak it for 3 days first. So you'd have to do that before you decided to do your cleanse. 2-ounce doses. So it's like one of those big shot glasses. Is capable of dissolving stones anywhere in the body. Light, more frequent meals are preferred over large, heavy ones. Okay? So, some other herbs to help you along with that. Like I said, barberry, wild yam, cramp bark, fennel seed, ginger, catnip, and peppermint. Okay, so we've got the castor oil packs, and like I said, we talked about that at length in one of our other episodes, so you can look that up if you want to. Juices for liver trouble include carrot, beet, cucumber, apple, dandelion, grapefruit, lemon. Lemon juice, fresh lemon juice is considered by some to be the most potent or effective single liver rebuilder known to man. How hard is that? Juice some lemons and drink them. I mean, I can't drink straight lemon juice but I'll take a couple tablespoons and put it in a cup of warm water in the morning, maybe a little honey in it. It's great. It's a great morning beverage. Or do it in the evening before you go to bed. Okay? It's a liver rebuilder. Okay. Sugar and preservatives are as damaging as alcohol to your liver, especially when you consider most people consume pounds of both of them every month. Some of them totally unwittingly don't even know it. And if you're eating processed food, that's exactly what you're doing. You're consuming a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of stuff you don't even want to know what they do with that stuff. So, don't do that anymore. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about with liver. Now, for the next 8 minutes, which is all I have, I want to tell you a little bit about parsley, because I had mentioned that last week. I think it was last week. And I said, okay, well, I'll tell you more about parsley root next time. So it goes along with this very well. But parsley root in the store looks like a cross between a carrot and a parsnip. Okay, parsnips, I love parsnips. You know, they're like white carrots. That's what they look like. But a parsley root is a little bit, I don't know, got a little more brown in it. And it is power medicine. Parsley root, okay, various enzymes in your liver eliminate toxins you may be exposed to via medications, food, or pollutants. Okay, those are the ways you can get toxins in your body, which we already know. An antioxidant that's produced by your liver, glutathione, plays a significant role in the detoxification process. One study found that parsley root juice significantly increased the amount of glutathione and other detoxifying enzymes in the liver tissue of mice given a highly toxic medication. So if you are one of those people that is taking medications and you don't at this time feel like that you can get off of them or whatever, you need to take advantage of nature's remedy and get yourself some parsley root and start drinking parsley root juice. Okay? The outcome suggests that parsley root juice may protect against exposure to harmful compounds. That was the outset of that. Okay, so parsley root will also boost your immunity. I recommend parsley root to a lot of people. A lot of times it's in the case of like this person is very swollen, like they have a lot of edema or whatever. I have actually seen people that drink parsley root juice and maybe even do like fomentations, like soak, clean linen or cotton strips in it and then wrap it around their seriously swollen legs and whatever. And then pretty soon you'll see the water come out of their skin. It's literally pulling the water out of their skin, through their skin. I guess I should say, not out of their skin, but through it. The water droplets are all coming up, and it will literally bring that swelling down. But it's a great source of fiber, vitamin C. Both of those are very important to, your immune system and your health. A 3.5 ounce raw serving contains over half of the daily recommended vitamin C and almost 20% of the fiber that you're required daily in 3.5 ounces. Okay. Vitamin C is essential for a robust immune system. We know that. That's why we like pine needle tea, as it fights foreign bacteria, stress, and inflammation. What's more, it helps your skin tissue and digestive tract form a strong barrier against bacteria and other harmful substances. Fiber supports the growth of healthy bacteria in your digestive tract. And I think, honestly, I just think that that's a lot of what people's problems are today, and probably even mine, is that we just don't eat enough fiber. And we might think we are, I have a lot of salad and I have a lot of this or that, but how nutrient dense are the foods that we're really eating? You might need to look into some other types of high fiber foods and consume them as well. That's what I'm telling myself anyway, because I don't think the way I used to eat 10 years ago is enough anymore, because I don't think that food has nearly the nutrients in it that it used to. Unless I'm growing it myself, which a lot of times I'm not. Okay, parsley root supplies potent antioxidants which contribute to all kinds of health benefits. Antioxidants, which we know what they do. There's two in particular that are present in parsley root that are considered responsible for much of its antioxidant activity: myristicin and apiol. Parsley root also contains a substantial amount of vitamin C, which we just said. I already told you about that. So, some of the other things that parsley does. Parsley, okay? Now, we were talking about parsley root, but parsley also is amazing, and it will help prevent, it seriously reduces cancer risk. It'll help prevent breast cancer. It has specific protective benefits for breast cancer. In particular, there's some journals. One article was written in 2017 that talks about the effects of parsley and human breast cancer. It fights inflammation. Parsley helps because it's high in vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E. It can help reduce the risk of arthritis and inflammation of the joints. Excellent source of flavonoids, which are antioxidants. Helps reduce the risk of chronic diseases like Alzheimer's, ulterior sclerosis, and Parkinson's. Something else that's kind of a neat tip for parsley is when you're grilling, like if you're going to grill outside, sprinkle your fish or your chicken or whatever you're cooking with parsley, fresh parsley, because the heterocyclic amines are made when proteins are cooked at high temperatures, and these are cancer-causing agents, okay? So if you could make like a chimichurri sauce or something like that with parsley, fresh garlic, salt, pepper, maybe apple cider vinegar, okay, olive oil, and put those things on your meats and cook them with that on there, it lowers or eliminates altogether those cancer-causing agents on your food. Interesting, huh? Eating parsley benefits your complexion. It's high in vitamin C. Vitamin C makes collagen, which gives skin its structure and strength. Collagen helps to iron out the fine wrinkles. Make a vitamin C packed salad including parsley greens, orange pieces, and make like a lemony vinaigrette. Yummy. That sounds good to me. I like anything lemon. Okay, this is interesting. Strengthening your bones. I thought this was interesting because I know people that need this. 10 sprigs of parsley, 10, is enough to reach your daily dose of vitamin K. So getting an adequate amount of vitamin K in your diet helps protect against bone fractures, and it helps make the protein for bones and blood clotting. Did you hear that? 10 sprigs. Helps with digestion. I mean, there was a reason you got that little sprig of parsley on your plate in the restaurants. It wasn't just a garnish to make it look pretty. You eat that, and it helps after you eat the parsley. It freshens your breath, but it also helps you expel gas from your body, and it aids in digestion. So eat those green things on your plate. Of course, I don't know. These days, maybe bring your own. Excuse me, I'm going to put my own here. All right, it fights heart disease. Oh, another thing that's cool about it is it helps with bladder infections. So you add some parsley into your diet, and it does have a natural chemical called muscle, that causes muscle contraction in your intestine and your bladder and your uterus. So in the case of UTIs and menstrual cramps, the parsley was really, really helpful. What I would do maybe is take parsley and blueberries and cranberries and some of these other things that we learned about that are good for your liver, put them all together and drink that. Okay, fighting off heart disease. Raw parsley contains folate, which is an important B vitamin, making it a candidate for preventing heart troubles. It's involved in maintaining normal levels of amino acids, which are important given that elevated levels are associated with cardiovascular diseases. Okay, it's folate. Like vitamin C, folate is heat sensitive, and it's best if you consume it fresh. Don't cook it. Okay? I don't like cooked parsley anyway. I think it's better raw. Another thing it does is it protects your eyes because it does have a good source of plant-based vitamin A, as does pine needles. Pine needles have high levels of vitamin C and vitamin A. But plant-based vitamin A in parsley, an adequate vitamin A intake ensures the optimal health of your eyes, preventing dryness, night blindness, and cataracts. So, I like pine needle tea, and I'm going to start drinking more of it. I used to drink it all the time, and I have kind of fallen off the wagon with that, but I'm going to start making that, and I'm also going to eat more parsley because I actually don't mind it. I like the way it makes my stomach feel. These are all things I forget, but I'm sharing them with you because our liver is really important, and I think probably the source of a lot of our problems, a lot of our health issues. And parsley can also go a long way to help with some of these other things that we struggle with. So if you've come in late on this episode, you might want to go back and rewatch so that you can get all of the good information that we had earlier. And of course, it will be uploaded onto Crooked House Herbals YouTube channel within, the next few days. My granddaughter, who is in college, does that for me. So I will let her know that another episode is done, and she can get to that as soon as she can. But I love having you guys. I appreciate you guys watching me. And I hope that the information that you've received tonight will be helpful to you. Please take it to heart. I do. And we can all try to live better lives, more determined, more aware, more purposeful, and overcome some of these health issues, because it's not going to just happen on its own. In fact, if we just go along, we're going to become victims of a very destructive lifestyle. Okay? And it's not even anything we're doing to ourselves all the time. It's just all around us. We have to be proactive. We have to take our health back. And now it's harder than it used to be, but it's still doable. And that's why we're here, right? We are our own little community, and we can help each other. Again, if you guys need any further assistance, feel free to message me at Crooked House Herbals Messenger, Facebook, crookedhouseherbals.com. You can email me, Wendy, at crookedhouseherbals.com. And if you have my phone number, feel free to text me or call me. All right? And I wish you all a wonderful, blessed weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye now.